So Legion Remix Phase 2 has been quite insane so far, and I thought I would go over some of the Phase 2 things with you guys. Let's start with the patch notes, as I made a video on the initial patch notes, but we have way more things to cover right about now. So here we have the hotfixes and the patch notes for Phase 2. Number 1. The changes to Keystone Dungeons. While running a time-worn Keystone, Eternals will grant players with the following buffs, depending on their role. As a, damage dealer, you will get a Slayer buff, increasing your damage done by 10%, decreasing your health, increasing your health by 100%, and decreasing your damage taken. Then we also have the Savior one for healers, giving you 10% increased damage done, 10% increased healing absorbs, 100% more health as well, and 33% decreased damage taken. For tanks, they have given you 10% increased healing received from other players. Now, the main thing here is that they're trying to make both DPSers and also healers way more usable in M+, but for me, I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. Especially for healers, they still feel not that great, because when you take damage in M+, you get one shot and die, and if you can heal yourself, we have Leech, we have Absorbs, and many tanks are able to heal themselves by default as well, and then we have the massive amount of leech that we have in Legion Remix. So I don't think this solves the whole healer problem, but for DPSers, being certain DPSers right now feels way better. Windwalker Monks feels absolutely insane, Boomkins feel insane, and even Havoc Demon Hunters are insane right now. You also have Hunters and Unholy DKs. Like Unholy DKs, they are slapping at the moment. Next up then, level 80 Time Runners will now receive fragmented mementos of Epoch challenges as loot for the following content. For anybody who does not know what this is the item giving you infinite power, which means you are now getting more infinite power from more activities. Number 1, world bosses. Number 2, rare enemies. This is daily. And number 3, emissary quests. Now for the dailies, they seem to, or the rares, they seem to give you 3,000 to 4,000 per rare. So 3 to 4 of this item right here, which to me makes them not worth farming. But if you are flying around doing world quests, doing anything, they are worth stopping for if you can simply one-shot them. So the rares can be worth doing, but not worth farming for, in my opinion. The emissary quest as well can be worth doing, but really depends on the power. But once again, it is just giving you more ways to get infinite power, and giving the casual players who are just doing the daily activities some more power as well, which I think is a huge W, by the way. Then we have completing the following content with the heroic world tier enabled will award higher quantities of fragmented mementos, world bosses, and once again rare enemies as well. Coda Steelclaw now appears in the correct phase so that players may turn in the quest Entangled Dreams. Fix an issue causing Legion Remix zone meta achievements to not grant rewards if completed inside the Keystone Dungeons. Rewards should be granted to players affected by this issue by logging into any time runner. Then we have fixed an issue where time-worn Keystone Dungeons were not awarding gear with the correct item level. Also, this next one is huge. Time-worn Keystone Dungeons now award gear when completed with a successful time. The number of motes of a broken time awarded for completing time-worn Keystone Dungeons has been reduced. So now, instead of they made a change in phase 1 like 1.5 weeks ago, where at the beginning of the remix, the dungeons gave you steady gear. So for example, pulling a number out of nowhere here, doing a plus 30 would give you 675 loot. I think that is actually the correct number, by the way, but let's just say plus 30 gives 675 loot. At some point, they took that away, so we only got motes. That way you had to like grind and use the motes to slowly increase your item level. Now, if you do a plus 30, you will get 675 baseline. Even if you are 584 yourself, you can use this to get geared really fast. Also, plus 40s I believe give 740, or at least I did a plus 44 today, and a plus 44 did drop 740. So at some point you will start getting 740 as baseline loot in Mythic Plus dungeons as well. This is a huge change, especially for people that are carrying their friends in Mythic Plus, or anybody brand new to Mythic Plus as well. If you can now get a high level Archway key, you can get quote unquote boosted for free, as everybody queues up for that, and they don't care if one person is like leeching a little bit when he brings the key. So right now you can gear up even easier in Mythic Plus than you previously could. Mythic Plus is going to be really good for gearing up, both for new players and old players and anybody trying to gear up alts. Now, while we're talking about the news, I also want to talk about some things that is not working at the moment in Legion Remix. Increased infinite knowledge, awarding less infinite power in Legion Remix. So if you feel like you're getting less power now than you were before the patch, this is a known problem at the moment. So here you can see somebody are getting less power now with more infinite knowledge than they were before. If you are one of these people, I recommend holding on to the mementos you're getting and not popping them until you see a blue post about this being fixed. As of me uploading this video, it should not be fixed yet, but if it is, please post a comment down below, because this could get fixed at any point. It just depends on the technical limitations behind fixing this. Now, basically the reason why, well, one of the reasons why this happened was that some people reported gaining +4 knowledge from clearing Karasan instead of the expected +2. So some people right now, they can be on 33 or 34 infinite knowledge, even though the cap for phase 2 is 32. If you are one of those people, you are probably currently getting less infinite power than you are supposed to, because instead, like when you go to 33 or 34, instead of increasing the knowledge you get or the power you get less. I think it's an anti-abusing mechanic, so people that actually got to 33 or 34 can't abuse it right now. So that's good, but still, it's a bug, so that's not good, and it should get fixed at some point. Once again, if you are affected by this, just hold on to anything you can that gives you power. Just hold it in your bags and wait. Aside from that, we have done the raid on Mythic, and I want to say it is not a pushover. There are some cases where you will want to know about the mechanics, at least a little bit, and well, treat them with respect. Because even in my party, we ended up wiping at one boss on a Nighthold Mythic, so that was cool. But we ended up getting it right after, so no worries. But either way, not a pushover raid, and it does seem like the basically based on PTR testing and also now playing Legion Remix, the raids were tuned and still are tuned based on the item levels that were supposed to be the cap back then. Because the thing is, 740 was meant to be the cap when Argus came out, so like the last phase of Remix, and until then we were meant to be time gated at different item levels. I don't know exactly the values, but I think in Emerald Nightmare it was 630, maybe 620, and then Nighthold 650, Tomb of Sargeras 680 or something along those lines, and last patch 740. And the raids still seem like they're scaled to those values. So the bosses in Nighthold Mythic, for example, they have 3 times the health of the bosses on Emerald Nightmare Mythic, even though they're technically same, the same raid here, or we have the same item levels right now. The raid is much harder. Nighthold Mythic is a lot harder than Emerald Nightmare Mythic, but that being said, if you bring any 740s with a lot of versatility, you will blast through the raid anyway, no problems. But for an average party, you might end up having a little bit of trouble in a Nighthold Mythic, and I am very interested to see where this goes in Tomb of Sargeras and in the last raid, in the last phase, because if scaling keeps going like this, at the end you might start seeing high versatility requirements in raids, which I'm not sure how the community is going to respond to. Aside from that, I just want to reiterate a couple of things that I have said before. The cap on infinite knowledge in phase 2 will be 32, at least for now, and the achievements you want to worry about getting for phase 2 is going to be based on the raid, the dungeon, and also the quest line. So go into not Feat of Strength, but Legion Remix. You go into quest, you want to do the Insurrection quest line if you haven't yet, and I made a farm video earlier this morning on a very good farm that is part of this quest line for infinite power. That is part of the March on Suramar quest chapter in this storyline as well. Either way, you want to do interaction for +1 infinite knowledge. You also want to do return to Karazhan, and doing this on Mythic also gives you the heroic achievement, so that is +2 infinite knowledge right here, and +1 from the quest chain, so now we are on +3. And then you have the raid, so doing Nighthold on literally any difficulty is the last knowledge point you're getting from phase 2. And that's it, you are now basically done with phase 2. All you're doing now is adding Nighthold to your raid rotation, and you're adding Karazhan to your dungeon rotation, and your Time-Worn Keystone Mythic Plus rotation as well. Phase 2 might not look like a lot on paper, but I feel like it offers a lot of content, and the small changes like the hotfixes we talked about definitely spices things up a little bit. That being said, I would expect way more changes, especially for healers in Mythic Plus, and maybe some raid stuff as well. We'll see what happens in the next week, but let me know what you think about phase 2 so far in the comments down below. I also want to say that I'm streaming live on Kick every single day, so please come by and say hello, and watch me live. If you just want to have somebody on the second monitor while you play video games, feel free to. Go on to kick.com/SolheimTV, throw me a follow, lurk in chat, chat in chat. I also help people out with Mythic raids twice per day. So we're doing Mythic Nighthold, Mythic Emerald Nightmare, Mythic Trial of Valor. If you need help with Mythic raids, I'm doing my best to help you out, okay? Either way, thank you for watching the video, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next video, or I'll see you on Kick.